I was just about homeless. I ended up moving in with a woman that wound up being my first wife. Going to Wall Street, making $1.5 million a year. I made $1.5 million my first year in the business. So, and you brought up Jordan Belfort. And one of the funny things is I met Jordan Belfort's first wife the same night that I met my wife at a place called Canistell's in the city. And I guess they were on the rocks at that point in time because I wound up with her phone number, and, we won't go into the rest of that story. But, the struggle that I've had with my own addiction, I went from being, big time Wall Street guy with a house in the Hamptons on 3 acres on the water, the whole routine, with the Ferraris, to a homeless crackhead, living on the street in Miami. Actually we used to call it the little town of Lincoln. A buddy of mine and we wound up, I wound up picking up a crack pipe after not smoking that shit since I was a kid. I mean, back in the 80s, in the late 80s, I was introduced to smoking coke by a buddy of mine who has since overdosed and is not here anymore, and had issues with that back in those days. And then 18 years after not smoking it, just wound up in a guy's house, and he was smoking it out of a bong. And I hit that bong, and that was it. 11 months later, $500,000 later, I was, I'd lost 80 pounds, was living on the street in Miami. And things, things got really ugly, and just a lot of just completely insane, just a lot of, you get followed around. I was driving around with 500 grand worth of gold Cougarans in the trunk of my car, and cashing those in $900 at a time, and just partying. So when that happens and you've got a ton of money and you're smoking blow, you get followed around by every freak. I had more freaky shit going on that was just bizarre, crazy, stories. And, I'm in the process of writing a book. I've been doing that for 7 years. So I doubt I'll ever get there. I'm a 2-finger typer. I've got, 11,000 words written. And that's a difficult process. So, I'm probably not going to end up finishing that book.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.